Hi guys, Spirit here, and today I want to talk about aiming and practice. Now for all of you out there wondering, oh, I don't need to aim, I don't need practice. Not true. Everyone needs to practice aim, everyone needs to practice rocket jumping, sticky jumping, just simple stuff, the basics. By practicing the basics, you make some of the more advanced stuff easier on yourself. Right now, I filmed this footage ahead of time of me just practicing, and throughout the whole practice, I'm practicing my aim, my juggling, market gardening. I practice everything when I practice soldier. I turn on Walkway, set the competitive 6s classes going, turn off random criticals, and I go at it. If I want to practice air shotting, I'll turn on the ramp and turn on the air blast targets, but even then it's still practice. It's just basics, and come to real game, I'll be able to implement some of these into actual use versus a player. It may not seem like it, but learning how to aim and juggle, even air shot, helps you against other players, even if you are practicing on a bot. Right here, I'm just going on a spree, juggling everything. Just goes up, down. I still miss shots. Here I'm practicing shotgun juggling. Boost someone up, take them down with shotgun, because I need practice shotgun aim too. I also practice on staying away from my opponent when I fire my rockets. It's not as bad as you think it is. Just sit down for about a half hour of practice. I'll put a link to the map in the description. TF2 TR Walkway RC2. I find it great for practicing. I can even set up sentries if I want to practice sentry kills. But I practice with my basic loadout. And what I take from my basic loadout, I can apply to other loadouts, such as using a reserve shooter instead of a normal shotgun. Any other rocket launcher I can apply to, and just go with it. So when you see me in the servers and you wonder why I'm doing so good, it's not because I'm getting lucky, it's because I've sat down and practiced. I'm not the guy who goes, oh hey, yeah, I killed you, I got lucky. It's, no, I practice. I came here and practiced. And even with just the simple practice, it's more than enough to get me by in situations. Because simplest tactics are sometimes the best tactics you can do. Like just the simple juggling practice is enough to get force of habit. As you can see, I'm not perfect with market gardens either, so I just go back and try it again. It may sound stupid, but it's really not. I miss, I still keep going. I'm not disappointed. It's practice. It teaches me my air strafing, trying to market guard and doing that. Get to learn a little bit of everything. And there I learned that I messed up my jump. There we go. Just by practicing, I eventually got one. And you can practice with any class. You can practice your basic backstab timing. You can practice headshots. You can even practice just air blasting too. And there's servers built for some of this stuff, like Dodgeball for pyros, or TF2 jump maps for demos and soldiers. There's a lot of maps out there that can be practiced. There's even MGE one-on-one practice, so you can get the hang of playing some of the more powerful classes. I even get to practice by shooting up ramp, which is usually bad for a soldier too. I'd suggest checking out a jump map or two if you want to learn more advanced rocket jumping. I'd say try Dodgeball if you want to learn your air blast timing. Go to Walkway if you just want to learn aiming. You can set the bots to strafe, jump. You can set them to be as random as you want them to be. You can have them be launched up in the air for air shots. It's something even professionals do, is they practice. You don't see Banny just sitting around doing nothing. He's out there practicing. You don't see Mr. Paladin doing nothing. He's usually practicing by going into the pubs and playing with you guys. With me, I play with my friends. I practice on bots. I do everything I can to get as much practice in on my aim and just simple stuff. And when it comes to aim, it's all about learning your weapon. If you stick with stock weaponry, you'll get better at your aim and how your weapons work. Whereas if you play with any old weapon you can find, let's say the Liberty Launcher, you lose one rocket, gain 40% speed on your rockets. Not really a good trade-off. Why? Because you're learning that a faster rocket is better than the stock. But in all actuality, that fourth rocket is used to jump in so you can use your other three to dive bomb. And I even practice that too. So if you really want to get better at playing a class, use its stock weaponry and you'll learn how powerful it can really be. Melee weapons, not really a big deal, because there are some melee weapons that are better, such as the escape plan, the market gardener, extinguisher, gloves of running urgently. It's all varied on your situation. I've had times in the UGC playing as heavy where I used my fists of steel instead of my gloves of running urgently. Why? Because I get surrounded with enemies, take 40% less damage, I get to my medic, and I can still keep going. And as you can see here with the market gardener, it does 65 damage normally, but if I get a crit with it, it's going to do 195, but it only rewards me by rocket jumping and melee someone. Here I'm practicing my dive bombing. Now, with bots, dive bombing is not perfect, but you can still practice with them. It gives you the knowledge of how to aim it while you're rocket jumping. Then there's reverse jumping to get away from an enemy. And it's great. If you practice with your stock weaponry, you learn your tactics, watch some videos to learn some of this stuff. I'll be putting out videos. Mr. Paladin has some videos. You can watch the 9s matches, you can watch 6s matches. You can watch basic tutorials, and you can learn a lot. I've even watched just my friends playing who are better at the class than me, and I've learned more from them. My friend Cookie has shown me some rollouts on different maps, and I've practiced them. I've gotten better at them, and I thank him for that. I thank my buddy Drake for showing me how well the soldier can actually be by playing with him. And I thank Mr. Paladin, who's shown how important aim actually is in a game. And I thank everyone at the UGC ESA for allowing these matches to be aired up on YouTube, so I can see how higher up players can play with just stock. And it's amazing what they can perform with this stuff. Like, I try different stuff out too. Like, practice my rocket shotgunning. Practice my juggling shotgunning. My market gardening. I practice it all. Everything that I see in a game, I practice it. Because I know I can eventually get to it. It's just going to take a bit of time to get it all. Same goes with learning how to retreat. How to know the signs that you should push. How to know when to hold. Just simple gameplay mechanics. Anyone can learn this stuff, guys. And I'm pretty sure if you guys put your mind to it and did some practice, you could too. You can practice any class you want here on Walkway. All 9 classes: Scout, Soldier, Pyro, Demo, Heavy, Engineer, Medic, Sniper, and Spy. You can practice them all, and you can practice different tactics. You may not be able to practice all the tactics, but you can practice a lot of them. You can practice your stair stab, you can practice your headshots, you can practice market gardening, you can practice dodging sentries, you can practice a lot. And I'm not just saying practice will make you perfect overnight. It takes time. I've spent lots of time just practicing. I have over 900 hours on PC alone, and all of it has been by playing. I've never idled. It's been play, practice, and even on a trade server I practice and people go, "Oh, you're tryhard." It's like, so what? I'm still getting practice against you guys while I'm trading. Does it matter? No, it's practice. Don't let anyone ever tell you you're bad, because everyone starts off bad. It takes time and dedication to get good. And it doesn't have to be absolute dedication. You can spend a few hours each day just trying to learn something. Like for me, I spent 2 hours one day just practicing juggling, and I eventually got good at it. I'm not perfect, but I still practice it just to keep up with my training on it. And that's the best thing of everything, guys, is when you practice and you get good at something, you become proud of it. And it's an accomplishment feeling that overturns any achievement or weapon or strange level you can get. Being able to do something and then put it to use will make you feel good. And it makes you feel even better. And as a player, the higher your morale is, the better you play. And don't let people discourage you with trash talk. It's just to psych you out. You get stabbed by a spy? Don't pyro rage. It means you weren't turning around and paying attention to your back, or you were so well distracted That's when the spy is supposed to strike, when you're distracted by everything else. And if you're distracted, he did his job right. And you were trying to do your job, he just stopped you. But say you're walking along out of spawn, and you're not paying attention to the mic comms, it's your own fault you didn't turn around and check out for some spies. I've learned when anyone calls a spy, or says spy, 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 I turn around now. With the exception if I'm battling a whole force. If I'm battling a whole force, I can't really choose, because if I turn around to get the spy, the other team gets me. If I fight the other team, the spy gets me. I'm in a lose-lose situation there. But if I'm walking along and someone says spy, I turn around. It'll either be a face stab, a side stab, or I kill him. And then he'll get angry and eventually quit off as spy. That, or he'll shrug it off as, oh, he turned around at the right time, he was listening. He did what he should have done. And the spy really can't say anything about that if you were listening to your teammates. If you listen to your teammates and listen to the comms and listen to what they say, you can actually learn a lot more. And the more you learn about game sense, the more you learn about your class, the more practice you put in for your accuracy, better you'll get, and the easier things will become. If you think it's all fun and games, it is. But if you want to think of practice as a chore, it will be a chore. I look at practice as a great way to learn stuff, a great way to become a better player, and a great way to get skilled at my class. I like playing soldier. I like learning to rocket jump. Even if I mess up, I'm still glad I actually tried it. Why? Because I've learned something. And I know I'm not perfect. No one is. If you're absolutely perfect at everything, then there's something wrong. You've dedicated way too much time, and there's no way you can hit everything perfectly. I know you could practice thousands of hours of it. Odds are, someone will have practiced how to counter it. So in doing so, you can't practice everything. You can, but you'll never be perfect. It won't matter how long you think your practice will do for you. You could practice for days, and you go to airshot someone, and they air strafe out of it. What do? Keep going. Why? Because it happens. And that's also what comes in with server comp. It's you've got a ping, they've got a ping. If you don't have about equal ping, there's going to be some issues with the detection, and it's up to the server to decide what actually happens. That's why when it comes to comp games, people are usually within the same area or have to have a certain ping to actually play. And if your ping goes above it and people ask you to stop playing or need you to sub out because of that ping issue, don't be discouraged. It's just to keep the game going for everyone, to keep it fair. And if things aren't fair, or they seem stacked, it means you're going to learn a lesson. Steamrolling someone, you learn nothing. You've learned that you steamrolled someone. Congratulations. But if you lost, you've learned that you have a lot more to go with, and you need to practice more. You need to work on your aim, work on sentry locations, work on dodging, all based on what class you play, and even learning to switch classes. Defense. Scout, usually not needed. Great for distraction and finishing off what someone else has started, but you don't really need a scout. Offense. You don't need 2 snipers. 1 sniper's more than enough. And it doesn't matter if you use his stock or Sydney Sleeper. In fact, Sydney Sleeper is more helpful to your team by coating enemies with Girardi than Spy. If you've got 2 spies, one's doing good, one's doing bad, take a look what the bad one on the scoreboard's actually doing. Maybe he's distracting the whole team by causing paranoia. Maybe the only thing he's doing is taking out teleports and the other spy is backstabbing. It's all based on what people are doing and actually helping their team with. They've practiced it. I know as Dead Ringer Spy, I've practiced more on paranoia and distraction than I have actually on backstabbing people. So when it comes down to it, I cause more of an annoyance than anything. I can do the same thing with Scout or even Engineer. I cause an annoyance and a distraction, which allows my team to take out the other team because most of them are busy after me than they actually are after someone else. And at the end of the day, that's really much better, because if I distract 3 people just chasing me around, that's 3 less people actually working on objective. They might as well be dead the whole time. And if I kill them, that's just as good too, because they're gonna get angry, they're gonna switch, and they're gonna come after me. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Just finish viewing the rest of the video.